in today's video, we're going to talk about the display expansion feature on Google Ads, on Google search campaigns that may have been recommended to you via Google's recommendations. I'm going to tell you about this feature, when and where it can make you a lot more money, and where it will actually cost you a lot more money in terms of more sales but not profitable sales, okay? This works in specific situations, of which I'm going to tell you exactly what those situations are on this video, as well as the situations where it doesn't work, so you know where you fit in, whether this works for your business or not. In short though, most companies it will work. You just have to be able to wait long enough with your current campaigns that you'll actually be in position to have it pay off for your business and know that you're not going backwards, getting sales, but not at the ROI that you know you need to be profitable at your company after expenses and so forth. So I'll explain all this in detail. What are the need to have components to your overall setup on Google Ads to make you an extra 10 to 100% more revenue, profitable revenue at the same ROI that you're getting now or should get. And then I'm going to give you also a couple case studies where we did this for a life insurance settlement company, for a mortgage broker, and actually got this to work to give you an idea of what type of companies that it can work for, and that so you can understand why it should work for you. That said, I'll get into the content. This feature gets you in front of people just so right off the bat, so you know how this works. You're wondering what the hell is display expansion. It gets you in front of people who have searched for your keywords on Google and then click through one of the organic search results, get to a page that has AdSense on it, which is basically Google's revenue share program that they have with websites, where if you have a blog or a forum and you want to run ads on that blog, you can get Google's AdSense code, put it on the site and say, Google, you can put banner ads on this part of my website, and when somebody clicks on the ad, I'll take half of the revenue that you get by bringing me that advertiser. So Google allows people to advertise on blogs that they don't have a partner relationship with, and it allows website owners to earn advertising revenue from people that go to their website without having to know the person that's doing the advertising. They just provide in our middleman, and they take half of the advertiser's revenue or ad spend to advertise on different websites for being the middleman. And so basically this display expansion, like I said, it gets people that have searched for, let's say, life insurance settlements, and they did not click on an ad. Let's say they clicked on the organic search results. They get to an article on a blog about life insurance settlements. That blog has a banner ad on it, okay? And if you have the display expansion going and you're targeting that keyword with that campaign, then your banner ad can show up there, which is, the user is just as good. It's one step away from getting that user in terms of lead quality and all that, from them actually clicking on your Google ad that's at the top of Google. You obviously can get better results if they clicked on your ad on Google, but you can still get profitable results if they did one extra step. They went to a blog and then found your ad, if you will. And obviously it's not a banner ad, but in placement of a banner ad, it's a text ad, if you will. So it's not really a banner ad like you would think, but there's an ad block there where an ad can show up. And if there's Google AdSense and there's a place for an ad to go, instead of a banner ad, it can just be a text ad, of which is the same text that would show up on your Google search ad if it were showing up on the Google search for that person, if that makes sense. So, and to turn this on, you simply have to go, if you don't know already, you go into your campaign settings, and then under networks, you make sure that the checkbox for display network is also selected. It's right, it's where you also can turn on search partners, even though normally we don't use search partners either. But like the display network and display expansion, if your campaign's already successful, it doesn't hurt at all to try to see if you can get results with it. And if you wait until your campaign's already got all the potential that out of it that you can. You're getting no more conversions on an ongoing basis. You're plateaued with your results. You turn on search partners, see if you can get more conversions at your same cost per conversion. Same thing with this display expansion that I just described how that works. By the way, though, it's not just people who searched for a certain keyword that you're bidding on gets to, and people who then skip the ads, click on an organic search result, get to a page that has ads on it, AdSense ads that you will show up. You actually can show up for people that have made a search for a keyword that you're bidding on with your campaign, and then are on any website on the web with AdSense code on it for up to around 30 days. So if they search for life insurance settlement company, and that's the keyword you're bidding on, to try to get people, when people search on that, by having your ad show up at the top of Google, if 2 weeks passes and they're on another blog, and this blog has nothing to do with life insurance settlements, but it has AdSense ads running on it, you can show up there because that person's still in market for a life insurance settlement. So it's just a way to tap into somebody that's one step removed from actively wanting to seek out a life insurance settlement company by getting in front of somebody that's not looking for it at that exact moment in time, but is still in market for it, and probably haven't chosen a company yet, because it potentially takes more than 2 seconds to decide on a company. So it's another way to basically scale your results, because you can only get so much results off of running Google search ads by itself. You could run Bing / Microsoft ads, expand your results that way. But then if you're going to make the big money, you got to understand how to run display ads in your space. Display ads are non-search engine ads, whether that be Facebook ads, whether that be Google Display Network ads, whether that be YouTube ads. You got to figure out how to take somebody who's not looking for what you have, but is in market for it, find out how to target people that are in market, which is this is the best way essentially to do it, is to use this display expansion for the most part, which I'll get into the details on that. But if you know they're in market, going after them before anybody else at the very least, once you're already picked all the low-hanging fruit of people on the search engines looking for what you have, and then saying something that can get their attention so that you can get them to your site and then turn them into a lead or a sale. So that's basically what display expansion is, if you're wondering what you're spending your money on. Okay, now here are the things that must apply to your business or your current situation for it to really bring in new customers at the cost per customer that you're looking for, or cost per client that you're looking for. Okay, so first of all, don't add this display expansion feature to your search campaigns until you already hit your numbers and maxed out your budget. So numbers being, if you don't already know what you could pay for a lead or a sale or whatnot and be profitable after all the expenses in your company to deliver that product or service you're delivering to your customer, then you need to figure that out right now before you waste any more time trying to make your ads better. Because in order to scale a multi-million-dollar a year ad campaign for your business, you got to understand exactly where your numbers are, because that's that's the only logical way to do it. You got to know, if I pay $30 a lead or less, I'll buy every lead that's available out there on the internet. And then from that, it's just really easy. What can produce a lead at that cost? And then you go out there and find every site, every opportunity where you can get that, knowing that every platform that's out there that's decent will have some action there that I can get. I might have to start out doing 100 things on that platform, and 10% of it is the only one part of it that will get me my cost per lead or cost per sale, what I need. But at least I'll have, after going through some testing, another stream of new customers coming into my business, which I can then reinvest that profit back into another platform and do the same thing there. That's how you build up a multi-million-dollar a year business for yourself, and through the use of online advertising. So if you know, like, let's say your cost per customer needs to be $30 or less, your search campaign, if you already gotten it there, but you're not able to get any more conversions and spend any more money on that campaign, because if you spend more money, your cost per sale goes above $30, you can actually turn on display expansion and let the algorithm try to, because you've already picked the low-hanging fruit on Google search by itself, find you customers on the display network through the mechanism that I described how display expansion works, or through where you're ultimately going to show up at. So if you've gotten all the juice out of that search campaign by running it on Google search by itself, you can use display expansion to get a few extra conversions. By our estimates and what we've seen time and time again, where we get to the point where we actually have plateaued results, kick this on so we would legitimately know how much more it's adding on top of what the search ads do, we're talking about 10 to 100% typically in addition, extra conversions in addition to what we already have at the same cost per conversion or ROI that we had before with that search campaign. And assuming that it's in a market where it will work. Most markets it will actually do that. Some cases it won't. If you're trying to sell a $20 broom, it's not going to work because it's not something you think about. The higher the cost of product or service you're selling, though, the more likely it will be to work because people have to think about it for a while. And if they have to think about it for a while, showing up on a website a few days after they made the search for what you sell, they probably haven't made a decision to buy yet, so you have a chance to still get that customer. See, this is where the value comes in, okay? Anyway, if the campaign's already profitable, you can't get any more out of it, that is the time where you do it. And then also, if you're doing lead generation and you're not doing e-commerce basically, okay, you need to have at least opportunity level tracking set up on that campaign, because once you start advertising on Google Display Network, which is what you have through the display expansion, websites that your ad shows up on outside of Google, like I was saying before, you're open to a lot of having bots click on your ads outside of Google, people doing click fraud to earn money on their websites that they'll juice it with their website with fake traffic to get extra money from you. And what they'll do in those situations is they'll click through your ad, they'll fill out your form, and make it look like your campaign's working to keep you advertising on those websites. If you have opportunity level tracking through something called offline conversion tracking, and in that, if every lead you get from your display expansion here that you're running now, you actually see if that lead was qualified or not, and then when you have a qualified lead, you pass that data back to Google Ads, then you're not going to be faked out by these fake conversions, so to say. This is something that is very common, so don't do display expansion unless you have opportunity level tracking on your campaign if you're doing lead generation, because you'll have a problem with fake leads almost for sure when you start out. And you don't want your campaign to go backwards, basically. So, and generally speaking, if we're generating leads and the person buys within 90 days, we're just going to do sales tracking. So I'm not going to want to show a conversion under my campaign unless they actually bought, because that's the best, data to go on, just to see if the display expansion is actually delivering something that's providing value to my company or not. If you can't do that, if people normally don't buy within 90 days, or more than 80% of the time, then what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to track whether that lead is qualified or not. And then furthermore, I try to, because lead qualification is subjective, what I'll do is I'll score that lead between 1 and 10, and then import that into my account so that if I go ahead and split rows on my campaign so I can see what type of conversions were triggered under each campaign, there I can see of the people, how many people filled out the form, and then of the people who filled out the form, how many of those were qualified, and then on top of that, of the ones that fill out the form that were qualified, here's the average score of a lead that we got from our leads at the moment in time. So you can see, basically, when you activate the display expansion, is the lead quality going down, and have a very good read on it. If you're curious about this, you can look up offline conversion tracking on my channel homepage, typing that into the search bar, and find out how to do this. If you still don't know how to do it, feel free to ask me. Even reach out to my firm, guaranteeppc.com. I'd be happy to give you the basics behind that, no charge. But that's basically what you want to do up front before you even turn this on. Novices are going to, be arrogant and not take my advice, turn it on anyway because it's too much trouble. They want to see it work. you're going to get loaded up with fake conversions, and then you're going to have wasted a bunch of money, and you're going to have to do this anyway. Take my word for that, for me on this, that this, you have to do this. Furthermore, if your campaign's already maxed up, it's already getting the maximum conversions it possibly can, like I said, it will get you another 10 to 100%. You get an extra 10 to 100% on conversions or sales on top of whatever your campaign was able to get before with your previous maxed out results for that campaign. The other reason why, by the way, you want to wait until your campaign's maxed out before you go ahead with display expansion, other than the fact that you want to be able to see that it's working and all of that stuff. And you always just, as an online marketer, want to go after low-hanging fruit first, stuff that's most likely to work and with higher returns quicker, because it helps you finance the growth, the overall scalability of your online marketing plan smarter. But it'll also give that campaign time to understand the traits that make up a person that is a customer, so that when they go out on display network, they're going to understand better how to get you a customer. A lot of people think when you bid on certain keywords on Google, they either show up for those keywords or not. No, when you have tracking set up and people search for your keywords, your ad shows up, then they convert, people look at all the different traits that person has. How old they were, where they were from, geographically, are they a parent, what's their income, and then use that data to understand when your ad should show up for those keywords in the future or not show up for them in the future. When it collects enough conversion data, it knows pretty well the person, you see where I'm going with this, that's not on Google but has searched for one of those keywords in the past, will likely convert, and who to actually have it show up in front of, which is a lot more important in this case, because there's a lot more variability in that and harder to get it to work. It'll know when to have that ad show up for that person or not based upon their likelihood to see the ad, click on it, and turn into an actual customer or client. So that's the other main reason why I recommend waiting. Otherwise, starting from a brand, starting with display expansion right from the get-go, your display expansion is going to work less, and given it, basically Google search ads are also going to work less at the beginning. They also work quicker, and they're easier to get an ROI from than the display network ads. So take your, return from the search ads and then parlay that into your display network results later on and take it to the next level. And, of course, if you never make money with search ads because it's not profitable, well, then you avoided even, tripling down your losses when you went ahead with the display expansion. So there's that. One other thing to do, if this actually does increase your conversions, you've gotten all the results out of search campaigns, you turned on display expansion, that increased your conversions 50% based upon what you had before at the same ROI that you were looking for and same cost per conversion you were looking for. Now you can set up to expand this even further, set up a partner display campaign with unique banners on it, as well as a partner discovery campaign and partner YouTube campaigns, technically. Because you can set up a display network campaign that's not anything, it's not a search campaign with display expansion, but just a display campaign. You can target and create a custom audience that targets people who search for the keywords from your search campaign. So basically, it does basically the same thing you were trying to do with display expansion, or that display expansion does, i.e. someone searches for your keyword, later on if they end up on a different site that has AdSense on it, that you'll show up there to get a customer or client. But with the search ads itself, they're not going to, you're basically using the text ads that you have, and that's what's going to show up on these other websites. Technically, you could actually put it, if you have the display expansion on, you could put banner ads into that search campaign. However, what I recommend you do here is just set up a separate campaign to just totally max this out and keep, because the reality is certain things that are going to work on display network are going to not work on search and vice versa. On search, a person that's 35 and older may be profitable to you. On display network, you may have to go after 50 plus because they have a higher income on average. So by having more granularity in what you're doing, you'll be able to get a better return because you physically separated out the display network clicks from the search clicks. But you certainly can, through a custom audience, you can set up a campaign. Anybody who's searched for your keywords in the past, that's the only people that your display campaign will, and ads in that display campaign will show up for. And then you can have, of course, set everything up to basically be tailored just for the display network. And of course, if you're using smart bidding with the proper conversion tracking, you're not going to be able to do more or less, based upon age, because the algorithm kind of does it itself for the most part, which I still recommend you doing manual bids on each one of those other levels, even though Google says it doesn't matter. It does matter. Trust me on that. And what other people say that won't matter, you don't need to do that if you have smart bidding. I promise you it matters. That you'll still, though, get a little extra results having this isolated into its own campaign and let it do its own thing there, if you will. Furthermore, if you were doing display expansion on your search campaign and you weren't using a banner ad there, of course, you could just add your banner ads to your search campaign. I would potentially just do that first before I had a whole other display campaign to do this. But on the banner ads, either way, what it takes to get someone's attention on Google search versus on Google Display Network is totally different. To give you a couple examples here, we had a life insurance settlement company that buys your life insurance policy back from you, the cash value. So if you have a life insurance policy, you want to sell it, you sell it to these companies. There was a specific type of company that does this called a viatical, where if you know you're going to die soon, that you have cancer or whatever, you can sell your life insurance policy. So if you know you're going to die soon, they call it a viatical specifically. Client who did this, okay, search campaign was working, we turned on display expansion, it was working, went ahead and set up a separate display campaign and got even more results out of that having a separate campaign. But in that particular instance with the banner ads though, to bring that up specifically, instead of just saying, because we targeted keywords related to viatical company, viatical services on Google search. But in addition to that, we also targeted keywords for loans for cancer patients and stuff like that, and get people off of Google search that way. Why? Because this is one way to get money for your cancer treatment. It's a smart move. You should think about plays like that in your own market. But on Google Display Network, where our banner ad would show up, instead of just saying, get cash for your life insurance policy, like we, or sell your life insurance policy or whatever, like we do on our Google search ads, for the most part, the banner ad can be more geared to focus specifically on your cash. So if somebody searches for money for cancer treatment on Google, we'll say money for your cancer treatment on Google. On the banner ad, we'll say get a guaranteed, $10,000 to $100,000 for your cancer treatment. So in other words, what you have to do with that banner ad on Google Display Network is more than what you would have to do on Google search, because on Google search they already want what you offer them. And at that point, it's just simply regurgitating back to them what they were searching for to get the best click-through rates and to have that work at the max rate. Whereas on a banner ad, you have to really be bold, more bold than what you would have to be on a search ad. So just saying when you make these banner ads for yourself, you should actually see how far you can stretch what you're doing and what you're saying to be as edgy as possible. So in other words, as compared to if you wanted money for your cancer treatment, saying money for your cancer treatment versus get $10,000 to $100,000 for your cancer treatment, click here. Obviously, this one's going to get more attention. And when you're talking about banner ads and the running ads on the display network, the higher the click-through rate, the higher the return is going to be, because the higher the click-through rate, the lower the cost per click. Everything you're trying to do is get a higher click-through rate. But saying on your search ad, get $10,000 to $100,000 for your cancer treatment when they search for cash assistance for cancer patients, it doesn't work as well, because we just know from that, our past experience, if they search for cash assistance for cancer patients, that's what you say. You don't just don't say that and then just focus on $10,000 to $100,000 for cancer patients, because it's not exactly what they were searching for, and it's not going to get the same click-through rate. So anyway, consider if this does pan out for you, set up a separate display campaign that does the same thing, because should take things a little bit further. We also did this, by the way, for a mortgage broker, to give you the second case study where display expansion worked, and then we even went further and added a separate display campaign to take this further. In that particular market, in the mortgage broker market, if you need a mortgage for your house, or if you want to refinance your mortgage, you just want the lowest rate. What this person did was had an offer where they would offer you a free $50 gift card to the Outback Steakhouse if you weren't able to have the lowest rate through this guy's company. So specifically with that, of course we put that on our search ads, but we were able to use display expansion and have it work because that's a bold offer. You need a bold offer in order to get ads that are not running on Google search to work, to get a high click-through rate, because just saying, great rates on home mortgages or lowest rates on home mortgages, it's not enticing enough to get a click-through rate that's going to get you a return like you want. You want to go as far as you can with that, but in that market, that worked extremely well. So on Google search, it was nice to say we have the lowest rate, but it wasn't everything to make the search ad work, whereas when the banner ads show up on websites outside Google search, it was the thing that actually got the campaign to work. Because if you're in market for a mortgage and someone says guaranteed lowest rate, we'll give you a gift card, well, that seems almost too good to be true. I have to take advantage of that, or I have to see about that. And then, of course, to go one step further here, if you are going to use display expansion and have a banner ad point to your site, the page you take them to on your site shouldn't be the same page you take your search campaigns to. Why? Because you need somebody that's coming from Google search already knows what you offer, and they just want a minimum amount of information so they feel comfortable to call. Whereas on a banner ad like that, where we're saying lowest rate, or get a gift card, we have to explain more. They're not already in the frame of mind that I just need to know that I can trust them and that they do it and I'm going to call. They want to know, what's this all about? But you got to explain more. So the landing page that's going to work driving traffic from your banner ad the best is not going to be the same landing page that works the best for your search ads. So when you go set up your banner ads within your search campaign for this display expansion, you should not only say something different on your banner ads, but you should send them to a specialized landing page if you want the most out of it. It'll work considerably better if you have a separate landing page just for the banner ad traffic, or from the display campaign that targets people that have made a Google search in the past. If you want to know how to create a custom intent or a custom audience that has everybody who searched for your keywords in the past, it's called a custom intent audience. You can go ahead and search how to set that up. One final tip I would give you about that as well is don't just target your keyword, anybody searching for your keywords in the past. I would target anybody who searched for a keyword and turned to a customer in the past, because that's going to give you a lot better results because it's a lot more accurate in terms of who you're targeting. And at least exploit that first, and then if that works, you can go broader. But everything I do with online marketing is about targeting the stuff that's most likely to work first, even though it's more work to set up, so I don't run out of money before I get to the next thing. Use the money from the first thing that was conservative to go a little bit more broad in what you're doing, and then you keep going broader and broader until you can't make no more money. But you'll never run out of money in that case, because you're always parlaying the easy thing that you just did into the next thing that's a little bit harder, but not, that's most likely to work. And that you have, a high certainty of being able to make money and build a big account in that case, even though it takes longer in that case and it takes more work to get it going in that case, but it's way more likely to work and not run at a negative ROI short term before, for a long time while you're trying to figure things out. Because the broader you are, of course you can get things to work if you narrow down things enough, but why not just start narrow, make that work, and then go broader, versus what everybody else does is go broad and then tries to narrow everything down to what works. If you start broad and narrow down to everything that works, you're going to waste so much money up front before it ever works. Just use your brain, what's most likely to work within what I think I need to do. Try that first. And if I can't get that to work, well, good thing I didn't do anything more broad than that, because it would have really wasted money. So, anyway, that tells you about display expansion, when and how to use it, type of situations where this can work. Basically anything where people have to make it, high priced products and services where people make a decision over a relatively long period of time, anything like over $100 in cost. Certainly, I would say display expansion is going to help you to some regard. It's just a matter of how much it's going to work and having the right time to do it. And for some of you guys, it'll work a lot. It'll at least double whatever you're making through your search ads, because you're targeting people who are in market for what you have, and you're doing it the way that I told you that is effective and works. And your competition's not doing that, and it's a whole different avenue of getting business that has been proven to work and that you're going to exploit very, very well, because the system I gave you works very, very, very well. So with that said, I'll wrap it up with that, though. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate it if you would give it a like and consider subscribing, as I have a ton of other content on this channel about how to make money with online ads on Google, on Facebook, and so forth. And it's coming straight from the source, from somebody who just does ad strategy for clients all day long. I'm not a YouTuber just spouting out BS on this channel or sell courses. I'm giving you the stuff that we use to guarantee results for our clients at our firm in a literal sense. And you're getting information straight from the source. So you should subscribe. And furthermore, if you like my channel, you'll also really like my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog, which has my own writing, as well as checking out my column at entrepreneur.com, which also has the latest and greatest things on what's out there that's new, that's working as well. You should check that out as well if you like the channel. If you are looking for an ad manager that is excellent in what they do and how they do it, you should reach out to me at my firm at guaranteedppc.com. I'd be happy to look over what you're doing and suggest and come up with a plan to get you the next bit of results on your account. We do not charge fees to our clients until we get you more sales results on your account or more leads, if that's what you're doing is generating leads, without having to raise your ad budget, which puts you in position to not have to pay anything out to us unless you make more profit, and really what you pay us comes out of the profit you're making up front. That's a commitment we make to all new people that we're working with at our firm. The catches is we got to really know we can get great results with your stuff. So if you want to go see if we can get results on your stuff, reach out to me and I'll give you that free analysis, and we'll see how much results we can actually get you up front. Short term, medium, long term, all of that. We'll be able to do a projection for you and see if we can, of course, work together, and if so, how much results we can provide you with the plan attached. So with that, I'm looking forward to hearing from you. If you aren't looking for an ad manager, but you do want to get good results and shortcut your way to success, what you can do is you can also reach out, and I'll let you know if we've worked in your market already. We've worked in 100 plus markets now, and since we've done that, we've actually been selling the campaign templates that work for certain industries. So if we worked in your industry, instead of figuring out all the stuff that we had to figure out in your industry to get results that we did in your industry over years, many cases, you could take the ad templates and landing page templates and everything that work for your market, copy and paste those the success we had with that and the templates we have for that into your account, and get the same results we had with none of the time and work put in to get it. As long as you're not in direct competition with our client or past client, because you're in the same geographic territory, you can use those results for yourself. These templates are actually, by the way, so good that people are using them to start side businesses, doing lead generation businesses where they're selling leads, or starting e-com businesses on the side. If you want to, not good opportunity for pretty much a passive style of business once you get the campaign up and off the ground, this is about as good as, or as close to that as I know that you can get. A campaign that generates leads at a certain cost, that you sell the leads, you own a little website, you sell the leads, it's a great little business to have. Anyway, if you're interested in that type of thing, or just to see if we've gotten results in your market already that you can use, reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you as well about that. At guaranteedppc.com is where you can also reach me for that. That's it, I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you on my next video where we have another great strategy for you then. See you later.